Okay, we've come to question 3. It's pretty interesting statistics, isn't it? As I've told you, Maths with Kumar. It's not going to be a difficult moment. You're not going to struggle. You're not going to have a tear. You're not going to say, oh. Now, even if it's a cobra, even if it's the worst of the toughest, you say a snake, you're going to smother it and say, I love maths. It's so interesting. It's not going to frighten me. It's something that is adorable. I love you, cobra. You're going to make this sum easy. The belief in you for maths, that you can do it like I believe in you, stays with you, please. Be confident. Don't chicken out and say, oh, I can't do it. No. Be along with me. Let's look at this sum. At Clear Thinking High School, 60 pupils sat for physics examination. The highest score was 100. That's the highest. And the lowest score was 0. The lower quartile was 30. The upper quartile, that's the lower quartile, and the upper quartile score was 54. And the median score was 44. Now translate the given information into a cumulative frequency graph. Now if you draw the cobra, let me draw a rough one. Now you look at it, and the cobra is something like that, right? And the highest score, this is 100. The lowest score is 0. And the highest score, how many students are there? 60 students. So this is 60. The median is the middle. That's the 30th person. And the 30th person's score is how much? 44. So you've got to get that point. Let me mark the points. 1 point, another point, and this point. The highest scorer, the lowest scorer, and the median score. And the next one, you've got to look at it, and you've got to find out the interquartile range. The upper quartile, the lower quartile is 30. My wine. Sorry about that. You see, they always say, my mom told me when I was a young girl, growing into adulthood, she said, be careful, my dear. The world for adults can be terrible. You can be a bad woman if you go the wrong way. I said, all right, I'm not going to be bad. Careful, don't drink. And I went to drink a glass of red wine. They say it's good for health, and it's affecting my throat. All right, but I just want you to understand why my voice sounds a little bit more husky today. Now, if you look at the lowest score, the lower quartile, that's actually what? The 25 percentile. And I've got 60 students. What is 25%? And 25% is actually 25% of 60. And this is 1/4. And 1/4 of 60 is 15. So the 15th student, you look at this here, the 15th student scored what range? 30 marks. So you need that point. There's another point that you need. The upper quartile, which is the 75 percentile, 75% of, all right, 75% of 60, you can cancel, you get 3/4. This is 15. 15 times 3 is 45. The 45th person, look at that, 45th person is here, 45th person, and that score is what? 30. Sorry, 54. Hey, so that's another score. So we've done a rough sketch, all right? And using this sketch, we've got to get all these numbers on the graph. And we've got to draw now, my dear friends, a proper translate the given information into a cumulative frequency graph. You saw that. How do I do it? We've put this in, and now we've got to draw it. So we've got to look at the points 30, 44, 54, 100. We've got to get that on the graph, all right? We've got to make sure that we've got to get all these. So it's not really a problem. And then they tell us, if 60% of the pupils failed the exam, hey, failed, and what was the passing mark? And if 10%, they look at it, okay, so what's the passing mark here? Take note, we want to find out. And if 10% got distinction, hey, so what was the distinction score? And how many pupils passed if the passing mark was just 50? These are all informations that you've got to get from the graph. So look at a graph. It's a different form, mind thinking, all right? And these clear thinking students, 60 pupils are set for physics. We've got to put this into a graph. And if you got it right like that, something like that, excellent. So let's see how we can do it. We said, hey, frequency, and this is the score, all right? The score, which is referring to marks. And this is the number of pupils, frequency CF, and this is actually a y-axis, which is referring to the number of pupils. Number of pupils. And we know we've got 60 pupils there. So tabulate. Remember, I'm always going to do like approximation. You are more careful than I am. So look at it, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Get that right? 40, 50, 60. As for this, we've got a score right up to 100. So maybe I can put here 10. Oops, not right, not enough. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I'm getting a bit worried because it looks like I've got to travel more. 80. Look at that calibration because I'm doing a rough work. All right, I'm going to put it right up here. 80, 90, and 100. Okay, so this is where it is. You will be more accurate than I am. So I'm just wanting to get your picture right. So please do it properly. Now, when you have the median, we just got to tabulate points. The median score is 44. So we look at it. Hey, that is the 30th person. And you've got to get 44 somewhere here. And we mark the point. That's 1 point. The next information we have, we've got the highest score, that is 100. The 60th person, 100. We got this information here. That's another point here. The lowest score is 0. So we just mark there. All right? And the person. Now, having got this, we've got more than that. What else? We've got the upper quartile range, which is given to be, the lower quartile is 30, the upper quartile is 54. So 30 is the 15th person, 25% of 60 pupils. So the 15th person has got a score of 30 marks. All right? And the upper quartile, that's a 75 percentile, that is the 45th person, had 54. 45th person is here, had a score of 54. 54 is somewhere here, and you've got that. And you've got to draw these points now, steadily join them up, and you say, hey, this is what you've got. A little bit, my hand went a little bit off. Hey, hey. And I said, all right, so that is where the cobra is. Now we're going to erase all these points here because these were just like meridians, you know, drawing lines to see what we are going to do. So your graph looks much neater. So you need to draw it in pencil. You see the cobra coming up and it stagnates there. Hoi, the head. Right. Now from this, you have already done your cumulative frequency graph. We've labeled it explicitly and we've shown it. Now, if 60% failed the test, now what is 60% of 60 pupils? 60% is 60 upon 100 times 60, cancel, you get 36 pupils. So 36 pupils failed. I'm going to write here, hey, 36 pupils failed. And what is the score of the last failure? So we're going to look at it. So we said 35, 36 is somewhere here. And we said, hey, this is the failure score of the 36th person. And that is about, look at this range, it's about 54 marks. So up, as long as you get 54 and below, you are failing. All right? So the passing mark will be above 54. Above 54 marks. Because 36 pupils are below 54. So if 54 and a half, 54 and a half, 55, you are passing. So that's how you get that. Now we look at the next one. 10% got distinction. Oh, these bright pupils. So I like to write this here. All right. So 36 pupils failed. All right. And the score is below 54. Now 10 pupils, 10%, sorry. 10% of 60, 10 upon 100 times 60, papa. Oh, sorry, you get 6 pupils. So 6 pupils had distinction. So what will be? 6 pupils at top end. So 60 marks here, 60 pupils here. You take away 6, you get 54. So the 54th person is here, 54. And we look at the score to get distinction. Hey, so if you had 73 and above, so the distinction score here is 73, above 73 marks, 73 and above. All right, 73 and above. Please do write it for me clearly. All right, marks, you get a distinction. So you see how easy maths is. All right, and the last part of it, if how many pupils pass? If the passing mark was 50. Now you look at the score here, 50. Hey, 50. Look at that. And then read again, go downwards. Oh, 50 is maybe it's about 32 pupils. They all failed, and 50 and above passed. So the number of people who would have passed is 60, this would have 31, 32, I don't know. But look at your eyes. All right, magnify it in your scale, look at it carefully and read it. So about these pupils, 50 and below failed. So the number of pupils who failed will be 31, 32. It looks like my reading. So 28 pupils passed. All right? So 28 pupils passed. What do you think about Clear Thinking School? You think they should change their name to Muddled Thinking? I don't know. So many are failing. Look at the data of information. All right? So they're not learning right. Clear thinking, come on! Oh, ha, ha, ha! I'm going to change your name to dumb thinking. No, to clearer thinking. They've got to clear the thought. All right. So you look at how beautiful mathematics is. This is the application of it. It's a real good song getting you to think, because they gave you very little information. All they told you is the number of pupils, and they gave you the scores, the various scores of the lower quartile, the upper quartile, the median. And using this information, you've got to translate it into a cumulative frequency graph. And you could see how beautiful the cobra was. It's a smooth line that went straight up and then pop. All right? It is such a friendly thing. So do not get intimidated by this cumulative frequency question. And from there, reading it, even if they ask you what's the probability that 2 pupils got distinction, how do you do that? You know from here, if the distinction, all right, was 73 marks, and you know 60 pupils got distinction, 6 pupils got distinction. So if you choose What's the probability we take any two students get distinction? 6 out of 60 times 5 out of 59. That will be the probability of 2. Selecting at random, getting distinction. Alright? So be charged and move on. I'm sure you get a strength of the cobra and you're going on. Great. Question 4 we'll move to shortly.